Distance. What is distance? A space between objects, time, words, people, two people. Two bodies that couldn't meet. Two islands that couldn't merge. Two voices that tangled in ways that would always want to compete. But she would drown in his honeyed words, in his sweet embrace, in the glimmer of hope in his eyes, and she would wonder, how did we get to this place? You see, their souls were intertwined over food and coffee. Their eyes would light up over insightful topics. He helped her embrace her womanhood, and not just by describing her beauty. He would take her on adventures under sunsets and stars. He would stop to look at her and tell her not to cover her scars. He would pull her close and kiss her mind. He would always be ready to wipe her tears at any given time. He would take her hand and dance with her across stages under the moon in her room, humming to the sound of his own tune. But distance, it's a funny thing, a crazy thing. To be arguing across oceans, against currents, among waves, a tug of war with not a rope but a string of observations, expectations, frustrations. There were sparks setting one another on fire, setting flames to their words because their inner desires were to fight against distance. She would call but he wouldn't answer. While at work he would text her, "What's the matter? What's the matter?" Nothing's the matter. She would see the morning sun while he would work when the night had just begun. He would call her but at 3 a.m. Australian time, and she would answer waiting and hoping if he would notice that she wasn't fine. She would wrap his jacket around her, wishing it were his arms. Her lips would tremble and she would muffle the pain, whispering to herself, "Why is distance so hard?" She would wait for spring to come, but to him it was just autumn. He wanted to build layers of trust and commitment, but she wanted it to blossom within an instant, not knowing that her own love story had already been written. They would laugh about how scruffy his hair was, or how chubby her face was over Skype, and they would joke about how he was never her type. He would sing to her when he would miss her in his native Hindi language because he wanted to invite her into the depths of his own culture. She would send him words of comfort and support. She would remind him that she wanted things that money couldn't afford, which were time, effort, words of affirmation, but somehow their conversations would always end up in disagreements. There were nights where their bickering was stained with taunting, upsetting, erratic vocabularies that she couldn't contain. But she would fight through those brambles that hide his flaws because she knew he was worth it and he wasn't a lost cause. Even if that meant coming out with wounds and bruises, because he wasn't useless. He was just helpless and needed some guidance. It was summer love, but eventually became more, and they both knew when she hopped on a plane and surprised him right outside his door. Sometimes she wished that they hadn't met. She was fine on her own, and her eyes weren't always wet. But she wanted to wait just a little longer, because she couldn't let go of him. Not just yet.